Okay, today I'm gonna talk about use context. So first, what is context? Context is used to pass value from grandparent component to grandchild component. Create context. So I'm going to show you how it works. So this is a root component, and inside the root component has a component, and this is the a component, and this a component has a header set, which is a component. It looks like this, right? A component. Now inside of this a component, I have a b component. B component. Inside of this B component, I have a C component. Let me restart this project. Okay, A component, B component, C component. And okay, so I'm gonna give you just add a style onto this component so that you have a better view. So dev style border double and padding 10 px. Style okay, yeah, as you can see here, so A component and B component is parent and child component, and A and C component is grandparent and grandchildren component, right? So when you pass the value from A to B, you can use prop. But when you pass a value from A to C, probably you can do it, layer by layer. Just pass a prop to B first, and then use B to pass it to C. Context is the way that we can pass the value from the grandparent component directly to grandchildren component. So you can pass a value to C directly. So how do we use it? So basically we need to create my context. Let's do let my context. So react.create context, right? Okay, now if you want to pass the value from the grandparent component. If you want to pass it from the grandparent component, you need to use a wrapper myContext.provider to wrap your children components. So now a C component is still inside of this because C belongs to B, right? So inside of B. So you use this one wrapper from A, so rest of those children components has been wrapped. Right. So if you want to pass a value to your children components, you can just use it like value fickle, right? So this fickle is my name, right? So now you can just accept a value from here. And how do you accept the value? You can accept use my context.consumer and JavaScript syntax. Inside of this, you accept a function. You can define a function, and this function will accept the value from parameter. Then you can return something like my name is value. As you can see here, so inside the C component, my name is fickle. So fickle is the variable which passed from the A component, and then finally you just grab it from C component without passing props using B component, right? You just skip the B component and get the value from A directly. And also you can pass variable or pass object. So right here you can pass that object here. So could be name fickle, age 29. Okay. So right here you accept the object here, right? So you have to do the structure. You can just display it directly, like my name is value.name and age is value.age, right? So still you can just accept that value, even though the value is whatever whatever the data structure of this value is, right? It doesn't really matter. So accept value from function grandparent component. So imagine the C component is not a class component, it is a function C. Still you can accept that value, right? So this way it works both on class and function component. Yeah. There is a legacy way that we can accept the value which only works on the class component. That method you can just try to read some documentation yourself. It doesn't really matter because it's legacy and no one even use that, even though the context is not that important, because when we do global state management or we want to pass something between components, we just prefer to use Redux, right? Because the context has limit, because you only can pass value from the parent to grandchildren component when there are two components which has no direct relationship, then you cannot get value. You still have to use Redux, right? So that's also the reason why context is normally used to encapsulate some API or some plugins instead of we using it inside the real life project directly. So, and the last thing is use context. So how do we use? Okay, so as you can see here, so when we accept the value from the parent class, we need to use a wrapper, and we need to declare a function, and inside the function we just return something eventually. So this is very the syntax is very complex and redundant, and using use context we can just do it in a efficient way. So you can just get the value directly. So let value use context my context. Now we need to import this use context. So right here we don't need this wrapper anymore, and we don't need to declare a callback function instead of this. We can just simply do for value dot name my name is value dot name and age. Yeah, as you can see here, so say a function component, and my name is Fico and age. So right here, as you can see here, so the only difference between that we accept the value using using the legacy way, and we use context is just the way we accept the value. And when you declare a global context, you still use create context, and difference is here how you accept the value. And I use context has a better the syntax is pretty compact and efficient. You can also treat this as a syntax sugar of context consumer. So yeah, this is pretty much about the use context today.